Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, it's that time of year again, time for my annual Mattel Jurassic World Top 5 figure video. This time we'll be taking a look at the best figures of 2021. Now please keep in mind that this top 5 figure list is just my personal opinion. It's just the top 5 figures I enjoy the most from last year. But at the end of the video, please let me know in the comments which figures are on your top 5 from last year. And as always, before we jump into the list, let's recap everything that happened last year in the Jurassic World line. So at the beginning of 2021, we saw the tail end of Primal Attack, and then we rolled into Dino Escape. And I have to admit, Dino Escape was not my favorite series from Mattel. I still think Dino Rivals is absolutely king in my book, but we all know Dino Escape was thrown together to fill in that gap because Dominion was delayed a year, and a lot of people, including myself, gave Mattel a pass. We did get some cool things in Dino Escape. We saw the return of capture gear, even though only 5 figures in the entire series came with capture gear. Huge missed opportunity for Mattel to include capture gear with other figures. I just felt like they should have went all in on it instead of just teasing us with the larger figures coming with the gear. Last year saw the return of human figures finally back to the line. Mattel smartened up and included the figures with dinosaurs. We got those nice dino packs, and we finally have our Camp Cretaceous campers complete. We also saw the third release of a Spinosaurus figure, but this one was finally easy for collectors to get their hands on. We all know the debacle with the last 2 releases, so it was really nice to finally see this popular dinosaur species readily available on store shelves. We also got a couple versions of the Scorpius Rex and some new species like the Carcharodontosaurus and Ouranosaurus. Unfortunately for the Raw Attack dinosaurs, Mattel decided to change the gimmick and they gave us those ugly slider buttons, which I still think are absolutely hideous, and it held back for me from picking up a lot of figures from Raw Attack. And plus, you know, let's admit, Dino Escape was really heavy with the repaints, and I did not pick up too much from the series, and plus the paint quality was really up and down. We've seen a lot of Dominion leaks the last week or so, and I just don't know what's up with Mattel with their paint lately. If you compare figures from when Fallen Kingdom came out and Dino Rivals, the paint was so much better. Yeah, we've gotten some figures in these recent lines that are really good, but we also got some really bad repaints. Just a lot of the figures suffered from really random and two-tone uninspired paint schemes. Take a look at this Chialingosaurus. That is just an awful paint scheme, and I just feel like Mattel has gotten really lazy and complacent with the line. It sells extremely well. It's one of their flagship brands, and I just think they figure whatever they put out there, people are going to buy. But I've noticed a lot with the Dominion leaks, some of those paint schemes are really not up to snuff. I will say Mattel's sculpts have improved with each wave, but the paint just seems to keep getting worse and worse, and people are really voicing their opinions on that. So we'll see how that turns out. Some of those Dominion figures, I'm just absolutely not going to pick up because those paint jobs just look absolutely horrible. And one more thing about Dino Escape, they did give us the absolute worst figure to ever come out in the line, this chubby raptor with this stupid action feature, and unfortunately they're going to be using this mold for a Legacy Collection raptor that's coming out soon, and I just absolutely hate this mold. Other good thing from Dino Escape, they did give us some redo on some older classic figures like the Stegosaurus, Allosaurus, and Ceratosaurus. Those got completely new molds, and the latter two, the Allosaurus and Ceratosaurus, greatly benefited from that because it gave them increased stability. The Legacy Collection came back. We got that awesome Ford Explorer set that fans have been waiting a very long time on. We got Dennis Nedry re-release, came with another Jeep, and we got this amazing looking Legacy Collection Apatosaurus. And lastly, moving on to the Amber Collection. Amber Collection, we hardly knew you. For those who've been following, the current events with Mattel, the Hammond Collection was announced last week, and that just signals the end of the Amber Collection. The Hammond Collection is scaling the line back down to 1/18 scale, which is a very smart move. My biggest concern when the Amber Collection first came out is how are they going to do larger species, and Mattel never answered that. They just kept releasing all these mid-sized dinosaurs and tons of raptors, and a lot of people, including myself, really got tired of the line. I did not pick up a lot of Amber Collection figures this year, and I'm glad I didn't because the line's done. It's not going anywhere, and I do feel bad for those people that heavily invested in the Amber Collection. It's kind of a middle finger from Mattel to those collectors, switching back over to 1/18 scale, but it's really smart decision because it's the only way we're going to get these larger species fully articulated. And I have to say, those two figures they showed off, the Apatosaurus and Baryonyx, look absolutely amazing. Nice paint apps. The tails are actually painted, movie accurate sculpts, and for 20 bucks, that's an absolute steal. And I just can't wait for those figures. It's the breath of fresh air that I think this line needed. It kind of got a little bit stale, but we'll see, you know, what kind of tricks Mattel has with the Hammond Collection and what they have in store for us with Dominion. So enough of my ramblings. Let's jump into this top 5 list. Kicking the list off at number 5 is the Roar Attack Kentrosaurus. This is a great looking figure, and I just love how it turned out. It's very animation accurate, and I love how Mattel included the shoulder spikes as separate pieces. If it was part of the sculpt, they would have been way too short and would have looked right, so it's a good decision doing it like that. We didn't want to turn it out like the Chialingosaurus. Those shoulder spikes are just absolutely pathetic looking. Has a nice paint apps on it. You know, all that brown mixes together really well. Yeah, they got a little lazy with the paint apps on the tail. For some reason, Mattel does not like painting the tails of their figures, and you know, some of their other lines like Masters of the Universe, like those figures are beautifully painted. I just wish they put a little bit more effort in painting their dinosaur figures. You know, this figure does have the ugly slider button on the back, but those plates hide it really well and it doesn't bother me at all. So all in all, it's a great figure worthy of the list. Coming in at number 4 is the Legacy Collection T-Rex Breakout Set. This is a true love letter to the fans. Mattel did an excellent job with this set. The Ford Explorer has been something us fans have been wanting for years now, and Mattel delivered it, and they did an awesome job on the vehicle. Yeah, the decals wasn't the best idea, but all in all, I think the Explorer turned out great. Just love the collapsible roof on it. You know, we get another Legacy Collection Rex, but it's such a great mold. It's not too upsetting to see this figure pop up so often. It's just probably the best T-Rex mold out there, even though it's a little bit too small. And we finally get Tim Murphy. All we need now is Lex, and the main cast is complete. She'll probably be coming out sometime next year. There's a few Legacy Collection things on Beyond the Gates, and hopefully one of them is her. And I wouldn't mind seeing another Ford Explorers here coming with vehicle number 5, so we can at least have the set. And I just love the night vision goggles that come with Tim, and his likeness is spot on. So all in all, a truly awesome set for us Jurassic fans. When Mattel does it right, they do it right. Coming in at number 3, surprisingly, an Amber Collection Raptor. This is the male JP3 Raptor, and I've been pretty hard on the Amber Collection the last couple of years for the vast amount of Raptors that they released, but man, when I got this thing in the mail, it's one of the best painted Mattel figures in all their lines. It's truly a beautiful figure, and one of the biggest issues with the Amber Collection, especially with the Raptors, was they just kept reusing the same mold over and over for different Raptors that showed up among the different movies, and they finally went back and resculpted the head to give it that male Raptor look, and it turned out absolutely fantastic. I never thought in a million years that the JP3 that a Amber Collection Raptor would show up on any of my top lists, but they really knocked this figure out of the park. Just those paint apps are absolutely fantastic looking. I wish they would put this much love into the main line, but we all know that Hammond Collection is coming, and those first couple figures look absolutely gorgeous. So hopefully, you know, when they do the switch to 1/18 scale, we'll get this JP3 Raptor again in that smaller scale, and hopefully a female to go along with it. Bringing in number 2 is the Mega Destroyer Pentaceratops. It's so nice to see a large ceratopsian figure in the line finally. We all know my feelings on the Triceratops mold, but Pentaceratops is up there with one of my favorite ceratopsians, so I was so happy to see this figure make its appearance in the Mattel line. And I love capture gear. It just adds a whole new play element. It's just a shame that only 5 figures came with it. Hopefully some Dominion figures come with capture gear. I just love to see it be a staple of the main line going forward. And it's just a really nicely sculpted figure. It's a little sparse in the paint apps, but for what it is, it works. And I just love how the head is made out of that soft rubber material. Very reminiscent of the Kenner line. And the action feature works great on here. The capture gear is nicely sculpted. A lot of nice detail. Wish there was some paint apps on there. It is kind of bland looking in that flat gray color, but it just works, and I'm just really happy that we finally got capture gear. You know, it took us a few years in the line to finally get it, but just brings back all those nice Kenner, Jurassic Park, and Lost World memories having the gear on these figures. And finally, number one, the Legacy Collection Apatosaurus. I love it when Mattel does these big sauropod figures. They always do such a good job on them. And this Apatosaurus turned out absolutely fantastic. Just love these super detailed head sculpt on here. And the figure is just absolutely massive. I can't even fit it on the whole studio. Obviously, you can see, you know, the sides of the studio right here. And you know what? Here's everyone. You can see what is on the side of me. We're just surrounded by Transformers here. And it's just such a great looking figure. And I just love when they do stuff like this. It's just, you know, it's very affordable. This figure costs around $50. And it's just a perfect price range for 3 feet of plastic. And I just absolutely love this thing. Everyone, you know, that watches this channel knows I'm a huge fan of sauropods, and Apatosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, so it's no wonder why this came in the number one slot. And I can't wait to see what other large figures they have in store for us. I have a feeling that it's probably going to be the Brachiosaurus, but it can be repainted into the Jurassic Park 3 colors, which I'm all for. The other movies in the original trilogy really need some love in the line. We need some Lost World stuff, and we need some JP3 stuff. So hopefully we see more of that in the Legacy Collection in the very near future. So there you have it, my top 5 Mattel Jurassic World figures of 2021. Quite happy with these 5. It actually really wasn't that hard. Like I said, Dino Escape was really hit or miss with me. You know, we had a few great figures in it, but, you know, rounding out this top 5 was quite easy compared to previous years. And I'm really excited for what 2022 holds for us with the Jurassic World line. Really, really excited for that Hammond Collection. Like, that is just like the perfect step in the right direction Mattel needed to do. We need more articulated dinosaurs, and it's gonna be great that they're gonna scale with the main line. And, you know, another reason I'm excited for them being that 1/18 scale, they're gonna scale with the Beast of Mesozoic, which was one of my favorite dinosaur lines of all time. So I can't wait for the synergy between those two lines. Saw some information about some play sets coming out in Dominion. That's something the line has seriously been lacking, so I'm really excited to see what Mattel has with that. And like I said at the beginning of this video, let me know down in the comments what are your top 5 figures from Mattel in 2021. So that would do it for this video. I still have a little bit of catching up to do with reviews. I still got the Darius Dino Pack and the Fierce Force Monolophosaurus to review. I'll be getting to those in the next week or so, and I actually got sent an advance copy of Primitive War issue number 1, which I read. It's fantastic. I just gotta, you know, get off my butt and get that review going. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.